Ow.
What did you do?
Yeah, someone else talk. I bumped my knee on my desk. I'm okay.
That's so stupid.
Comic books.
Yeah.
Comic books.
So, truth be told, I'm still waiting to receive my physical copy, but I have read quite a bit of it and stuff like that. So we are, of course, talking about DC X Sonic the Hedgehog issue 1. And just want to preface this by saying if anyone ever was like in my brain and decided to scoop a load of things out and make a crossover, this is the one. Like, my sister was saying they must have made that for you. I'm like, it feels like it, doesn't it? Just when I was saying I feel like the Sonic comics are getting a little on the dull side because I'm kind of done with the whole restoration thing, they pull this out on me. Just when I'm like, oh, restore the Snyderverse and stuff like that, they're like, well, here's a new Justice League with Sonic in it. It's like, well, oh my god, I can't complain, can I? I'm just getting everything I want right here.
I mean,
like,
yes, you
crazy.
can.
It was great. No, I went out. I liked it so much. I went out and bought
I
the
marveled
physical
at the
copy.
artwork.
Yeah.
Oh, I DC'd at the artwork. Oh shit! Right here, I just turned to a random page and I forgot he said this. He says, "What you see is what you get. I'm just a hedgehog who loves adventure."
And then the whole fan base got very, very angry because if he said something
They
in the
get
past,
mad.
he must never say it again.
Oh, no. They got very angry with something from the first page. Amy referencing Little Planet.
Yeah.
Even though they're at Neverlake, waiting to see the Little Planet.
Well,
Wait, is that why
Darkseid
they're
does the shadow quote as well. He says it all starts with this: a gem containing the ultimate power.
Which was fucking awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Looks like they were
I
just
like
there
that-
for a picnic.
Yeah. Sonic and Flash call each other Red and Blue, and I something about that I just like a lot as well.
So typically
All right, I
speaking,
must have missed-
like, when it comes to these comic crossovers, usually it's like the first couple of issues are a lot of build-up. You know, there's a lot of like, the characters aren't meeting in this issue, but we're spending a tiny bit of time in their respective universes saying like, hey, this is some of the stuff that's going on. Maybe we'll spend some time with the villain, because that's what, like, the Marvel versus DC crossover was like and stuff like that. So I was really surprised to see them just go straight in for the character interactions in issue 1, and I was really happy with that. Cut to the chase, so much better this way, because that's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for anyway, is the interactions between the Sonic cast and the DC cast, which is not something I ever thought I'd see in an official medium, I'm not going to lie, but then again, DC did a Fortnite crossover and stuff, so crazier things have happened with that comic company. Yeah, like...
I expected them to fight first, because usually when they do, like, the big crossover, it's like Sonic and Mega Man, right? It's like they don't immediately get along. They're like, who are you? We gotta fight! And then they do the fight, and they go, oh, wait, we're both good guys. You know, I thought they were gonna do that, but I'm glad they skipped that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've always thought it's so stupid.
You know what I immediately thought of when everybody was kind of introduced to each other? Super Mario Brothers Z, because that's kind of how they didn't really fight each other or anything. They just kind of had their introductions.
They just show up. Yeah, they show up and they go, "Hey, we're gonna save the world. Let's do it." And Mario goes, "Okie dokie."
They're like, "Hey, man, we should have a crossover." Yeah.
Yeah, except Mecha Sonic didn't obliterate one dimension.
Yeah, he was kind of
or
out of
beat
line.
the ever-loving fuck out of a Yoshi, which was super uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, that's an uncomfortable watch, but damn, that just made him such a good villain.
The reboot one is like, oh my god, it's like,
can you like leave that critter alone? Like, I think that's another thing.
That shot, dude. Oh my god, the shot where Yoshi, he's like, give me the emerald, and Yoshi swallows it, and he goes, like, you just see Mecha Sonic stand there, like, and I was like, oh.
I think that's another thing, though, is like, if you have a fight between like Sonic and say Superman or something, you don't want to see Superman beating up a critter, you know? Like, these are critters at the end of the day, and you don't want to see them get beat. You would. You fucking would. But, dude, like...
Yoshi's like a dog, too. Like, he's like a dog or a horse. Like, you just don't want to see him get beat the shit out of.
It would be like if Zurg popped up and beat the ever-loving garbage out of Bullseye from Toy Story. Like, no, I don't want to see that.
Exactly...
I kind of want to see that now, just to see how shocking it would be.
What's wrong with you? He's just like ripping the stuffing out of him. He's grabbing him by his tail and slinging him. Like, yeah, I don't want to see that. That's no.
Brother, ew.
Brother, ew.
You imagine the other cast members are like, brother? What the fuck? What?
Just so mean-spirited. So I'm glad I don't have to see my heroes, the DC characters, commit animal abuse. That makes me so happy. Also, the Sonic characters are so little as well. Like, they're so tiny. You wouldn't
little
beat them
guys,
up.
Well,
Oh,
I
that's
mean, yeah,
true. Also, so that's right. I think I posted this in our group chat, Frank, but the Flash, speaking of Sonic being a little guy, like there's actually apparently like a character in DC called Crackle
Yes.
that looks a little bit like Sonic and maybe based on Sonic, and the Flash is like, "What the fuck are you doing here,
But I
Crackle?"
thought this was
And
also such a smart move as
it's
well.
just like it's an Ian Flynn reference right there.
Well, I thought this was really smart as well because I think for a lot of like the DC fans, like them going to the Sonic dimension is going to be a bit far fetched, considering like DC is usually a little more grounded. But
Yeah,
given that they immediately went with like a Crackle thing, it's like it's this DC. It's the DC where you've got like Mr. Mixius Pitlick and Batmite. It's more Silver Age DC
right.
where you could imagine this kind of thing happening. You know, like it's
Yeah.
so I think by referencing a
Oh,
character like Crackle, that was really smart.
yeah. I think that the other
yeah.
thing that makes it work really well. I'm sorry, Frank. This is one last thing. I'm going to shut my mouth. But
No, it's fine. It's fine.
the one thing that I really liked about it is when they're talking about Darkseid and like what's happening and how he got here. They're talking about it like they said something. I think Wonder Woman says like we had to reach far beyond the reaches of our usual multiverse. Like we had to go really far to find this place. And I kind of like that idea that like the multiverse is so big and like obviously they are always doing multiverse stuff with like Crisis and all that shit. But the multiverse is so fucking big that there's just like they could go to Mario if they really wanted to. Like they just have to go like a far enough distance. And that implies, I think, about something the multiverse. It could be like similar universes are close together, they're more grouped together. And then as far as you get away from them, things start to change more drastically. And I just kind of I know that this is just all speculation, but I just really like that idea. I think that's a really fun idea for like a huge multiverse.
It gives you a lot to work with. It was like a universe that's so far away, or an area that's so far away that it doesn't necessarily follow like what their original
Yeah.
universe is. So yeah, it totally makes sense. It's such a cool concept.
Also, I'm reading in the
Also,
chat that Crackle was actually based on Sonic anyway. And looking it up,
Oh,
looking at his design, yeah, he's 100% based on Sonic. Like,
so it's an OC.
yeah,
yeah.
like the Flash has his own Batmite
Yeah.
effectively, and it's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Actually, he's
Comes
not
full
he's not
circle.
a Flash character though. He's a Green Lantern.
See, I'm
Again,
not a
comes
real
full
fan.
circle.
I don't know anything. I don't know about this
I looked
area
it
of
up.
DC. I know about like your Mr. Mixius Pitlick and your Batmite. I'm more of a Silver Age
Yeah.
kind of guy.
Yeah. No, I
But
know
like
those.
yeah, no, I
I'm
thought
more
this
of
was
a
a
real
wise move.
fan.
Real fan. I read real comics like DC X Sonic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Also, like on top of that, because we were kind of discussing like character interactions because of like the whole Crackle thing. The interactions between Sonic and the Flash were a ton of fun as well. How they're both very competitive with each other because we've all had
Yeah.
that conversation of like who's faster, and yeah, it's the Flash definitely, but like Sonic he's a fast boy, like, and it's super cool to see that like he's it's cool to just finally see them have a little race and stuff. And they're obviously quite ambiguous with like who's winning and stuff. Flash is obviously not using his full speed or whatever. And Sonic would go super if he were really serious, but like
yeah, it's like I doubt either of them were going like full speed, but
they're never going to say who's faster, but just like looking at like what the
can't.
Flash has done with his speed, you know that the Flash is faster.
Oh, in fact, also there's something about that because they do keep competing, and there's a point where they say something about how many parademons they took out, and the Flash gets one more than Sonic does, but then Sonic goes, "Oh, but I didn't count the ones that I got before you showed up." So it's like they won't give an official count.
He's moving the goalpost. He's just like me.
Yeah.
Just like his
but
fans.
I do like that. Yeah, like the characters interact really, really well together, and it doesn't feel super forced.
Oh yeah, and we've seen like I really like Knuckles and Superman together as well. Like,
yeah,
Superman is very polite towards Knuckles, even though Knuckles does give him a little bit of shit, which is very Superman. Superman's gonna take it on the chin and stuff. And they could very easily have paired Sonic up with Superman, to be honest, but I'm glad they did the Flash because like it's just better this way. I don't doubt we're going to see those other characters interact a little as well, but like,
yeah, for the beginning, I think Superman and Sonic, that'd be a little on the weird side because I mean, I guess they would still be able to interact fine. It's just I think the Flash is a better fit.
In terms of
At least for the start.
personality, like Superman and Sonic, I guess are a bit more similar. But like when they first announced this, I was like, I bet they're not gonna do the obvious, and they're gonna do like Sonic and Superman because the ego on this fucking company. But no, they didn't.
Yeah.
I was really happy about it. And also, like for a long time, I was reading it thinking like, I think Silver and Green Lantern's dynamic is probably going to be one of my favorites in this. Like, I love those two together. And I'm guessing you must have liked that too, Dilnor, because you love Silver.
I do a lot. Yeah, I mean, I don't know a ton about Green Lanterns, but I do like their power set. I do like what they do and all that shit. But the Silver interactions here are great because I like this one part. I think it's when it's Jon Stewart and Silver are fighting, and I think he says something like, "Oh wow, so what's the source of your power? Like, how do you do that?" And or Silver says, "Are you telekinetic too?" And he goes, "No, it's the ring. It's like a power." Oh, and then he says, where does he say it? Oh, he says, "Nope, limited edition alien tech. What about you, alien metahuman?" And he goes, "Nope, just a regular hedgehog." And he says, he says.
They said limited edition alien tech because they can't say ring.
I love it. Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. That's funny.
They passed the don't
Dude,
say
if he said ring,
bill.
he goes, "Oh, I love rings."
Dude, I fucking love rings. But then there's also, I mean, a lot of people are going to be naturally gushing about this one. Is Batman and Shadow, because like they're all prepping to help out and stuff, and Shadow's just like, I have no time for this, and then fucks off. Shadow, what do you do? I really want to know what you do outside of these things, because like you're always like, I don't have time for this. Like, what's the hurry? What are you doing, smarty pants?
Coffee.
But then,
well, I always get the impression he's trying to just solve the problem on his own. Like he doesn't think he needs help.
But then I also love Batman is like, because I've always said something that I think the movies, up until like say the Snyder Cut and the Batman, I think the movies always kind of played down Batman's kindness a little bit. Like that Batman could still sit down and talk to people and be a helping hand more so than he is a brute. But like
yeah.
I loved seeing Batman just go and have a little pep talk with Shadow and be like, yeah, hey, brother, I recognize that look on your face and stuff. I know you've lost some people. For me, it was my Uncle Ben. For you, it was...
His Uncle Ben?
Yeah, Batman lost his Uncle Ben, and that's why he's Batman. God, did you read comics, Frank?
Have you ever
No,
read
I
the
don't.
Ben Man comic? Ben Man is my favorite superhero.
Yeah, and then like Shadow is mentored by Tony Stark. It's
human
really
man.
cool. Like...
The human bat.
The human man. That's really funny.
Really? That's all you got? That sucks.
No, that's not my name. I told him I'm the human bat.
You got my name wrong.
A freak show.
You're going nowhere. I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
3 minutes of playtime.
That's a cute outfit.
That's a nice outfit. Did your parents give it to you?
Yeah.
Oh, that would sting so much more.
Did your parents?
Did your parents give it to? Yeah, but like, Spider-Man was so out of pocket in that scene as well.
Yeah, what
like,
the
it's
fuck?
so
Peter
funny.
was really upsetting. I don't like.
Actually, Peter, my husband did give it to me. I'll have you know, he's very supportive of the stuff I do.
That seemed a little out of place, but
those memes where Bonesaw fights back is actually my favorite. He's
suppose...
like Spider-Man.
So, there's not much else to say. This issue was very much devoted to just kind of introducing the characters to each other. Amy and Wonder Woman don't get much to do together, all being said.
Yeah,
like,
except for the fact that like they're like geeking out over it. It's like, oh, like your car can fly. Wait, you can fly?
You have an invisible plane? Like,
yeah, that was
why?
Yeah, sometimes
why would you have that?
Sometimes
they can still see you.
Sometimes I'll fly my invisible jet. You have an invisible jet?
It's like, why would you do it? It was very funny to me, the invisible jet, because like you could still see them sitting in it, like the crazy frog. Like
that just seems like a sitcom thing. There's like a scene in Parks and Rec where like Ron has his kid, or like his kid's already been born. It's like, oh, whose kid is this? It's like, oh, that's my kid. What did you tell me you had a kid? And then they go on this whole thing, and by the end it was like, oh, by the way, kid, when do you get me fish food? When did you get a fish? It's like, it's such a sitcom thing. I love it.
I was just thinking as well about, like, you know how, like, Batman has had, like, Bat Horse and Ace the Bat Hound and stuff like that. I was just thinking, like,
Cow.
and how his whole thing is, like, taking in troubled kids and stuff, and he adopts them and turns them into Robins. I was just thinking, like, Shadow is so going to become a Robin soon. But then I remembered, oh, yeah,
he's never wear that costume.
No, he's legitimately going to wear a bat suit, though, and I want to know what it takes for Shadow to agree to wear a costume.
I don't think he ever would. I think he would literally...
He just tells them...
He's gonna, though. We know he's
Shadow
gonna
loses...
do.
Shadow
Well, no,
loses his
Robin
inhibitor
suit.
rings, and the costume acts as inhibitor rings.
Shadow, you have to wear this.
Shadow, you know how your powers are usually inhibited? Well, I'd get rid of them entirely and be like me.
It's not a bad idea.
It inhibits all of his power, so he has to fight
Inhibits
without
his emotions.
Inhibits his ability to make coffee.
Okay.
No, it turns out
Hold
the
on,
rings
I
are
just-
emotional inhibitors, and he just starts crying for no reason. Do we, so the art, obviously, is really nice, as always, to be fair, but, like, this is really pretty artwork, and I think it's illustrated by Adam Bryce Thomas, who's done a great job both with the Sonic characters and the DC cast.
Yeah. One thing I will say, I don't know if they also worked on the alternate one, but that one's kind of funny when you look at it.
Oh, what, because Amy looks so stupid, but she always looks stupid. She's Amy.
Well, both Amy and Tails. It's just for Amy, it looks like there's not a single thought going through her head.
That's Amy! I don't know what to tell you. That's
She
just
does
great.
look like that a lot.
Have you seen how she looks
Yeah.
in Sonic Adventure? Like,
I don't know. I thought she was like a total girl boss or something.
okay. I mean, yeah, she kind of is, but she also like a brainless girl boss.
That doesn't make sense.
That's like exactly my... I think that's me.
How can you can be a brainless girl boss? Just be confident and stupid.
That's
She's
me.
not stupid. Knuckles is there. I
Knuckles
hate to say that
isn't
about my favorite
stupid
character,
either. No,
but
Knuckles-
Forces did not do that man any favors.
They didn't mention Operation
That
Big
one
Wave
would
on the
not approve of
timeline, so it
Shadow
didn't
using
happen.
guns. True.
It
That's a good point.
it's the
They didn't mention
Technically-
Operation Big Wave, so it didn't.
but the
happen.
events of Sonic Forces did happen.
Not that
including
one.
Operation Big Wave.
Nowhere did it say anything about Operation Big Wave. So we know there was a
About-
war, 99% of the world was conquered, Dr. Robotnik has friends, and Operation Big Wave didn't fucking happen.
I'm pretty sure it did.